I think rather than asking yourself, what can I do on my best day? You should start by asking, what can I stick to even on the bad days?
Oh, I love that.
And that becomes your baseline.
Okay, so you've already given us two incredible things, which is, what if this were fun? What would it look like if it were fun? And as you're thinking about the beginning of a habit, defining it by what could I actually stick to even on my worst day?
Right.
How is it that motivation shows up after the action?
Because you have this feeling of progress. Now you have something that look, I've made some movement forward. You have something to look at. It's the difference between hope and evidence. Now you have some evidence. And so you have a reason to believe it. Say, oh, look at myself moving forward. And that starts to feel really good once you stack a couple days together. I think this is one of the lessons of my work, which is it doesn't take much to feel good again. You'd be surprised what you can do with 5 good minutes. 5 good minutes of conversation can restore a relationship. 5 good minutes of exercise will leave you winded and reset your energy and mood for the day. 5 good minutes of writing will make you feel like the manuscript is moving forward again. It doesn't take much to feel good. And so you just need a little bit to get yourself back on the path.
That's the entire premise of this podcast, that it takes so little to make you feel good again. And once you do, the progress and the momentum kicks in. If you're the kind of person who's listening and you're like, God, I've just failed too many times. And so you feel discouraged about starting in, whether it's putting yourself back out there on the dating scene, or it's dusting off your resume after getting laid off and feeling like, what value do I have to offer? Or you tried yet again to lose the weight or to stick to the meditation and you failed again. So what is the failure pre-mortem?
Okay, so first, you want optimism. My little shorthand is I don't want to be my own bottleneck. Okay, so I try to work backwards from magic at the start. What would the magical outcome be? What would the thing that I really want to achieve look like? What's the optimal outcome look like? Then the next phase, this is where the failure pre-mortem comes in. So you switch from optimism to pessimism. All right, I know where I want to go. So now let's be my own critic for a minute. The failure pre-mortems, it's just this simple question of, if we look back 6 months from now, and this has failed, where does it fail? So it's just you're pre-analyzing where the potential points of failure.
Before you even
haven't
get
done
started.
anything. You haven't done anything yet. But you're trying to be the one to figure out what are the flaws in what I'm about to do.
Okay.
And so the failure pre-mortem just says, if this fails, where does it fail? And you can come up with all kinds of things like that. Let me give you an example for habits. So let's say that you want to start going to the gym.
Yes.
And you're like, well, if this plan fails, where does it fail? And it might fail because you don't know which gym you're going to use. So you're like, all right, I'll pick one that's on the route of my commute each day. So then you say, okay, it might fail because I don't have my gym clothes ready. So you're like, all right, I need to set my clothes out the night before or have my gym bag ready early. I had one person who they were like, I am going to the gym and I wish I could stick to it more, but this gym doesn't have a water fountain. And so when I go there, I'm like, I always forget to bring my water bottle. And that's enough to make me be like, I'm not going to go because they don't have a water fountain there. And little points of friction like that sound kind of silly when you say it, but you're like, yeah, that's a potential point of failure. And you need to have a plan for getting your water bottle full and make sure that you bring that each day.
Yes.
And so you start to check off these boxes of what are the things that could hold you back from this plan working. And then you switch back to optimism, because what you don't want is to go into this process feeling like you're doubting yourself to begin with.
Screwed. Why am I even doing this?
That attitude just going to make it harder.
Yes.
So you start with optimism, you switch to pessimism, try to poke the holes in your argument, and then we're back to optimism again. We want everybody on board and feel like we've got the right attitude going into it.
Okay. I love this because one of the things that I immediately thought as you were using the gym example is I immediately could pop into the pessimism mindset. And I think I'm a good problem solver, but I was like, okay, well, I don't know what to do at a gym. And so I walk around and then feel overwhelmed and intimidated because I'm not quite sure what the routine should be. And then I leave.